begin.
Look, I'm just saying, when this song started up in the finale, we watched it together, and I was trying not to feel everything. The emotional spectrum is going off the charts when we got Shiny Ray again, because we've said over and over that this theme sort of perfectly encapsulates the feeling of the show. Second theme really coming around to it. But also the fact that the final episode didn't open with anything, and it was just a cold open. Once this came through, it was like, stop! It's magic! Magic's happening! Anyway, we're going to talk about all that and more. Welcome to the Little Witch Academia After Show on AfterBuzz TV. Today we're talking about the final two episodes, A Road to Arcturus and Changing at the End of the World. Woo! We're finally here. I'm one of your hosts, the internet's Mark Donica. You can find me on Twitter at Mark Donica. But I'm not alone. Joined by some of my fellow hosts, Stacey Shuttleworth.
Yeah, I'm Stacey Shuttleworth. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Stacey Shuttles.
Rachel Goodman.
Hi guys, I'm Rachel. You can find me on Instagram or Twitter at Rach Goodman or on Facebook at Rachel Ann Goodman.
Man, this is so much fun, and we're happy that everybody's watching this live. This is a long time coming. Oh boy. Oh boy. This show debuted in Japan in January as a weekly release show, and only in July did it come out on Netflix. And oh boy, were we not happy about it. Now, yes, on one end, it's over. But on the other end, man, did it end so lovely and leaving us feel good. Let's get there. Let's start by talking about A Road to Arcturus. Man. You want to talk about a whole bunch of references in 1 minute.
Star Wars.
We got a magical lightsaber. We got Chariot doing the Kage Bunshin no Jutsu for you shinobi out there. Yes, I watched Naruto once, but I was into Naruto. But we're gonna talk about different anime a little bit at the end of the show. But this big, it's the fight. Like we thought earlier in the season that was going to be the fight. We end up seeing another confrontation. Chariot's captured. A lot of stuff happens in 1 second. What was your reaction to this explosion of a start to episode 24?
I kept thinking that they were going to do something more to Chariot. Not just take away her magic, which is obviously the route they went, but I kept thinking they were going to make her, I don't know, angrier or like just take advantage of her emotions like what Croy was trying to do in the beginning. So when it didn't happen, I just kept waiting for it to happen, and that's kind of what I thought until it didn't.
How about you, Stacey?
Well, I really liked kind of the introduction of that idea that if you face Croy with complete lack of emotion, that was her kind of way of fighting back at first. So I feel like if Chariot had been super emotional, she probably would have been drained kind of right then and there. So having someone confront her first that knew how she operated was nice.
And that was also a tease for something that happened later in the episode, which we'll get to. So because of the confusion with the continuing soccer riots, the anger starts to reach a fever pitch, and the noir magic, the noir engine, the noir fuel spirit, powers on by itself and starts to activate, and they teleport towards the Forest of Arcturus and the seal, and where everything's happening really fast.
Oh yeah, we didn't waste any time.
And as a result of all of this anger and all of the work that Croy has done with the SSS, she disables the ability to use the Sorcerer's Stone for magic. That's it. Everything's powerless. The ley lines are destroyed, and the girls get thrown into the Forest of Arcturus as well. Oh boy, just everything happened at the same time. Did anybody think that Croy was going to, 1, actually unlock the seal, and 2, unlock it so easily?
No, I definitely thought there was going to be more of a struggle there for her to get to it. But then once she did open it up, I kind of was like, oh, okay, well, that makes sense too, the way she took it.
Yeah, I agree with Stacey. I didn't think it was going to be that easy. and I thought more of the struggle. I thought she was gonna. I didn't see her having a character change the way that she did, so I saw it basically panning out where she was gonna be the ultimate person they were gonna have to fight, and once she was destroyed, then it would
Dispelled
be,
of.
Once she was out of the picture, then it would be about destroying the machine that she now has no control over.
Right. But I did think it was really interesting when she got in there and got this, huge magical power, which ended up being a little twig. And of course, with Croy, we get her looking at it and going, all right, this is it. And I feel like that kind of, and then she could do some silly party tricks with it, right? And I feel like that really reflected the way she looked at magic. And I was like, oh, well, it makes total sense. She's not able to use this to its full potential because she doesn't believe in magic the way that whoever's going to wield this needs to believe in magic.
And that's why the Shiny Rod didn't choose her in the first place. And being presented, because it seemed like it was more, she was expecting more of a feeling, more of like a power surge, more like something unimaginable. But then getting this bubble stick, everything that she thought she knew was just thrown to the wayside. Poor her. Anyway, we go back to the real world where all of us, like, there might be a governmental coup to where using the soccer riots as a way to lower the amount of power that we never get country names, lower the amount of power that the neighboring country has. And Andrew's like, why are you taking advantage of people at their lowest? That's the worst. Now, Andrew, throughout this entire experience, has been showing real signs of leadership, not of politician and not of politicking, but of leadership and being able to lead a certain sects of people into one glorious Andrew-led future. But despite it was a weird initially, because of the way, like, I thought that, of course, the two episodes were going to be linked and we would have had a big overarching story from episodes 24 to 25. But then when it was kind of resolved so quickly,
yes,
that was then the thing of, oh, all of my expectations have been met. Now what's going to happen?
Right. I was like, okay, wait, it looks like we just wrapped things up pretty neat and tidy.
Except
where can we
for-
go now?
Well, but that's the thing. So the machine goes out of control. It creates a rage dragon, which looks similarly to the dragon in the OVA, and similar. Just it's a very good style dragon. Ends up eating Chariot, and we see the first. Oh well, no, that wasn't the double team. But Diana, or the girls all go onto the scene. Diana and Akko attack and melt part of the dragon, which turns to Shiny Arc returning. Awesome. We got that arrow biz again. And I was close. Maybe it wasn't forgiveness, maybe it was acceptance. What did y'all think the final word was?
I thought it was tied to acceptance for sure, because it was not only just forgiving each other for, everything going on, but also accepting kind of what happened and accepting what others had done or what they had done themselves.
Yeah. Once the dragon dissipates, the Sorcerer's Stone returns, and we get the talk. Now, initially, when Akko started off here, this, and she was talking about, oh, it was my dream to meet you, and this, that, and it seemed like, girl, did you block out?
I was like, oh my god, is she like traumatized?
Did she
or
revert?
something?
Yeah,
Is she,
right?
like,
It's you!
what's happening?
I see you now, girl. Are you okay?
Ooh.
Yeah, and I was wondering too, like, I was expecting that there would be more of a confrontation, not just, what she always wanted to say to Chariot, but also what, like, she was very upset by what she found out. I just really wanted her to at least broach the subject and kind of talk about it a little bit, even though what she said was very powerful, and it does show that she was able to forgive Chariot for anything she might have done. But also, I took the word to mean more of togetherness, and that if you work as a team, you can accomplish anything.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that, especially with the seal that we've been seeing since the beginning of the second half, having the arms joined together. Yeah, I can totally see that. But this whole thing, Akko sort of coming into her own and at least expressing to herself and expressing to everybody else that yeah, my dream came true. What's next? And the realization of, I mean, 25 episodes in and being like, all right, I have to work hard. It's a little bit of a journey because there are a couple times throughout this entire series where Akko's been like, no, learns the importance of patience. Then the next episode, she was like, I'm too impatient for this. And like knowing the lesson, but not being able to understand it, not being able to apply it. And I think now that the facade, the facade of Ursula/Chariot being dropped and the reality of the situation, she was able to finally come out of this dream world and her dream world, which, to be fair, real powerful dream world, but now is able to take things a little bit more seriously. There's so much. They end up using the final word, just because we got to get to this finale. They end up using the final word to restore the forest to its former glory. It's just absolutely beautiful. There's flowers and everything, and Croy's just freaking out. And then there's a missile.
P.S.
We got a missile too.
BT dubs. Missile.
That anger is some powerful spirits.
What?
You know, possessing a missile. Here we go.
Because it's a missile.
You know.
It's a magic show. So there's a missile.
Of course.
Are you okay, Mark? Do you need a moment?
That was like...
I
was so bizarre.
I don't know. Like, I thought tension was great once they introduced it, but it kind of seemed random to me. Like, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
You had to think
Missile
about
time.
it. You had to think about it for a minute. It's like, okay, well, I guess that's why they've been introducing all of these tensions between the two countries, so that a missile didn't seem completely like.
Yeah, because it doesn't seem out of the blue.
field,
Because in the okay, before we go full on into the end, is there anything from the second to last episode that you still wanted to cover, still wanted to talk about?
I just wanted to say that something that really stood out to me is when Akko's talking to Chariot at that final moment, and she says, I was hoping you'd still be my professor. I've realized Chariot is Chariot and I am me. That, I loved it.
Yeah, and even I still want you to be my teacher. I love you.
Yeah.
And it's just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Ultimate Crazy One, welcome. I don't know if you've joined the show before, but welcome. Says Croy's reaction to the stick was just the best. Agreed. Monty, for Magical World, I wasn't expecting a missile, but then again, it is an anime.
And a trigger anime.
And a trigger anime, especially. Now, this one, they did end up making more sense of than a Kill la Kill, then a Panty Stocking and Garter Belt, then a Gurren Lagann. But you know what? This one worked. For me, it was more of, okay, tensions are resolved, Croy is defeated, we have all 7 magical words. It's sort of like, it's like this. It's sort of like a video game where you fully level up, and they give you that one extra level.
Yeah.
Okay, you're fully powered up. Go have some fun. That's what this last episode was.
Yeah.
Because we got to see a lot from all of our favorite characters, even some of our not favorite characters. That's not true. But yeah, we end up, Akko makes the claim like, hey, no, we can stop it. We're the 9 new witches.
So cute. I kind of saw that coming when it was, the 7 of them landed in the forest. And at first I was like, okay, well, the 7 words, and then there are the 7 girls, and then I was like, oh, and then if you add Croy and Chariot to the equation,
I was hoping we'd get a moment of, oh, good, we're still young.
I know. We're part of this. Great.
They're not that old.
Yeah, no, they're like 10 years removed from school.
Yeah.
No. This was a lot. This was just a lot. They get what they refer to it as a blessing from the 9 old witches, but Croy and Chariot back on the same page. Give them a blessing which turns all of their outfits white, which is very adorable. I thought Susie was gonna have a fit.
She looked so upset.
She's
She
just like,
was not thrilled.
White, man. Or
I'm only doing this for the group.
could you imagine if everybody's was like stark white and hers was like jet black? like black accents, black everything. She'd be like,
Her willpower was so strong that
Yes.
like they just could not put her in white.
It was like mushroom print.
yeah. It's like, what? Fight me.
This is the blessing.
This is a blessing. She's
And that's when we find out that the missile is heading towards the quote rival country, and this could create a political incident.
good.
That's not great. Everybody in the room is freaking out. But then we find out that everybody around the world who had the app, who had the emotions app that I'm still sure Croy is still making bank on, was immediately disrupted and created a feed where everybody could watch the missile.
And Croy made a really good point.
Yeah. Who's recording? Who's taping this?
Yeah.
Magic.
the cubes have a film crew among them,
Mhm.
right? That's how it is.
Which film crew, yeah. Eastman says Susie wore the same outfit in Enchanted Parade. This is not new for Susie. Technically, Enchanted Parade doesn't exist in the same universe because that's how they meet Constance, Yasmika, and Amanda.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, whatever. Anyway, regardless. All right, so we get a situation where the seven girls create a giant broom with rocket ship-esque boosters filled with magical energy from the SSS to get them just to catch them up to the missile. This was adorable.
It was so silly. It was great.
Especially everybody giving them the push.
Oh, yeah. It was so cute.
Okay, so what's her name and her donut?
Yasmika?
Yasmika.
Well, I did a good job. I earned this.
Yeah.
Like, "Oh my gosh,
She had like the
got
biggest
food to
smile on
eat."
her face.
Yeah, she had a huge... this is a weird sentence. Well, here, I will reword it. She discharged a whole lot of magic after Lotte got rid of the wind resistance, thanks to the wind spirit, and fired them even further. Constance with just sheer rockets
Yep.
even further. And then Amanda with an extra burst of energy straightened them out and boom, let them fly. And just kept departing. Was anybody a little bit... I was a little bit sad that after the... they showed that it was like the power of 3 on the seal, that Lotte and Susie weren't a part of the final...
I was
Confrontation?
Too.
Yes.
Yeah, because I
That
kind of feel
was-
like they're her best friends. They should have been there too. That would have made
Right.
it more powerful, but I guess they needed them to give that extra push in the right direction.
Yeah, and it's sad because we've been through so much with the main 3
Yeah.
that these past couple of episodes it's changed into Akko and Diana, which is fine.
Right.
We're still waiting for that fan art. Diana's Christine, Akko's Phantom, and Andrew's Raoul, but I guess we'll have to wait a little bit
Your
longer.
hourly reminder.
Well, I mean, on Mondays anyway. It's only been 3 weeks, but yeah, it's just pure madness. They start running out of magical energy as people start to believe in them, and we get a spirit bomb situation where everybody's belief in Diana and Akko becomes new magical energy to the point where we'll get to that. But Croy uses her magic hacking wizardry to add more eyes, more belief, superpowers them up. Then Chariot gets on the mic and is like, yo, check these girls out. They're going to save the world. You better believe in them. And despite all of this, we're back in the Situation Room, and Andrew's dad and another political figure who I don't think we ever get named. Or was that Lewis's dad? That's
Yeah,
Lewis's
that's
dad.
Lewis's
Okay.
dad.
It's like, witches, come on.
Ridiculous.
Even in
Unhelpful.
all of this,
Oh, yeah.
even amongst all of this, they send a couple of missiles that do nothing. But despite that, here are these 2 little girls that are still heading towards space in the upper atmosphere, trying to stop this thing. Witches.
Yeah.
That's when our boy Andrew comes through clutch. What did y'all
He
think of
does.
Andrew's decision to stand up to his dad here?
I'm so proud
It
of
was
him.
awesome. Yeah. He's come
did
such a
it.
long... Yeah.
Right? We've been building towards this, so it was a really satisfying moment for him to find. I mean, so he understood it in the previous episodes, and now he's putting it to use. And,
Yeah.
You know, it's always nice to see.
He's finally standing up for himself too.
Yes.
And how did the dad not go personal with Diana? That was the question that I had. It was just like
Yeah.
witches, but not like, oh,
that's Diana.
it's your it's that girl whose
Yeah.
house we were just at. You know, nothing from that.
And it seems like, because they presented it, that they have a pretty close relationship and they have a pretty regularly reoccurring relationship. So
Yeah.
the fact that he just seemed completely nonplussed by it,
Mhm.
I guess, was
Unless he just didn't even realize who it was.
So
somehow.
stressed.
It was a
that
big
he-
old close up.
yeah.
And of all people for Andrew to notice first, he notices Akko, even though he knows Susie, even though he knows Lotte, even though he knows especially Diana.
Miss Katagari.
It's like why wasn't it like Miss Coggery and Miss Cavendish or like any of that stuff? Also, it's keeping it classy, adding the Miss in there. Good man.
Right?
To the point where the Prime Minister arrives and is like, "Yo, this kid, I agree with him." And they're like, "Oh, yeah, yes sir, let's go out and cheer, everybody." And why are people in power these days in animes just shorter folk?
Yeah, it's kind of a recurring trend now.
Yeah, in My Hero, in this, in Fairy Tale, there it's around, it's there. I guess, you know, it's like calling a big person tiny, like there's, all sorts of that stuff. All right, now once Diana and Akko are on their own, we get the music sting. Shiny Ray starts playing. Or no. I'm sorry. They start using magic. They start transforming things into like stuffed animals and the just so much of a lot of things. So much of a lot of things. Akko just showing her ability to think on the fly. Diana showing how much of an excellent flyer she is. A real teamwork scenario. Before we get to the return, this sequence, because we were all freaking out at everything.
losing it. I mean, we got a couple of really cute throwbacks to some of Akko's, most classic adventures, and just yeah, I don't know. I liked Diana's fast flying.
We all were just. I'm happy that we do this show early enough in the day to where there's not too many other folks in the studio, because we were cheering. We were
Screaming about it.
uproariously cheering at some of the stuff that was happening. And as the missile starts to transform and just start killing everybody, in essence, it starts growing in power to a form that overcomes the girls. We get a giant whale. We get a floating Wailord. That's great.
Yeah.
Shout out to you Pokemon fans. And now when we were first like, how are we going to get there? Nothing can catch up to it that fast. That's where I went, that's not true at all.
Something.
The shooting star can do it in a flippin' heartbeat. It's probably still flying around the world. And it didn't come through.
It's been heading back around this whole time.
It's been waiting for the moment to come by, grab Akko, grab Diana. We got super powerful magic broom that seems to be listening to Akko now.
It does indeed.
Because it stopped. It understood everything that was going on. That's when we get our music sting. The power of the girls comes to a fever pitch because we see Yggdrasil. I did not of anything to expect.
Not that at all.
And it looked gorgeous. Not just because my favorite color is green, but it looked gorgeous. And the girls fire off a giant shiny arc together, which one of the things that I'm sad we didn't get, even though this was an amazing finish, amazing resolve, amazing finale, was I would so much to get a geek out moment from Diana of like, after this they landed, just be like, we just did like to do the full shiny chariot, like we just did the thing, we did it. And Akko's like,
we got this.
this is my third time doing it.
All that by now.
You'll get used to it. But coming together, both firing it, shows, and somebody mentioned it earlier in the chat, that their relationship is sort of a reflection of Croy and Chariots, but this one where they're both on the exact same page.
Yes.
And to think of what Croy and, I mean, we wouldn't have a show at this point, but to think of what Croy and Chariot could have done if that resentment wasn't there.
Yeah.
And that indignance wasn't there. Doesn't matter. We got a giant happy face explosion.
That was hilarious.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Man, I want to watch this finale like right now.
It's just so cute.
They couldn't stress the happiness emotion anymore.
No. And it
is
explodes,
happy.
and like magic butterflies go all around the world and land on people, and people are happy. People are feeling great, and in that sense, they changed the world with the magic, with the help of the Grand Triskelion. And as Diana and Akko, lords of the earth they have become, stare upon it from space, the shiny rod dissipates and returns to space.
That was
It
a nice
does.
moment. Yeah.
And that's it. It's done.
And it was so wonderful because Akko, she is the purest of heart. And, goodbye, thank you for everything. Not like, no, I want to keep this power. Like, there's literally, like, nothing greedy about her in this moment at all.
And that's the thing with Diana is she, like you said, she's on the same page. So even though it kind of leading up to this moment, they did seem to be kind of a reflection on Croy and Chariot's relationship, except Diana is much more similar to Akko and pure of heart and is not upset that they no longer have the shiny rod and has no, bad intentions at all.
And it goes back to one of our favorite lines from Diana leaving the school. I never thought of us as rivals. Oh. Eastman says, I'm disappointed we never got an Akko and Diana hug. Agreed.
Fan art.
I think we got something, like, comparable, though, with the two of
They'll
them.
get there.
Yeah.
Like, Diana still doesn't quite get, like, physical
Feelings.
physical
Yeah,
friendship,
no.
appreciation,
That is confusing
sort of a
to her.
thing. When they land, everybody dives and celebrates. But Diana's like, what is
Diana's
this?
like, what just happened?
Uh,
What are you doing?
Why would you attack her? She just saved the world. Why are they attacking me? Did I do something wrong?
Personal space. She's very concerned.
Andrew's dad is like, hey, you never gave up on them. I'm willing to talk to you about witches and the world of them and to understand them. Which I think is a huge step for him and a huge step for
Yeah.
Andrew.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wasn't expecting that from his dad at all.
Mhm.
I kind of figured he would just continue to be angry. So the fact that he's changing at all is
Maybe Lewis's dad. And that was
Yeah.
another moment we got of
Yes.
all of the students seeing the stream and Frank going, oh, those are the witches we met. And everybody's going, "Bleh, what are witches going to do?
Cares about the witches.
And Lewis going, what if they're trying to save us? Which makes everybody go, oh, yeah.
yeah. No one has
Oh,
anything to
shoot.
say after that.
About that. Eastman again on fire here. We see a little girl that looks just like Akko. Maybe she's going to be to Akko what Chariot was to her.
Ah.
Not everybody can be as touchy-feely as everybody else. Good point, P.W. Gregory.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so with the shiny rod gone, we go into our epilogue. Croy will be welcome back at any time.
That was really strange.
That was very odd.
As-
It was very fast forgiveness.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. Yeah, okay. Croy did obviously come to a moment where she realized what she was doing was majorly wrong. But how could they just say, oh yeah, come back, like, nice to see you.
We'll miss you.
We'll see you soon.
Well, I can understand it with Chariot. I can understand
Right,
Chariot going,
Chariot.
oh, we had this moment,
but the
but
rest of the witches. that's
principal.
Yeah.
Well, and there was the teachers. The last time that they saw her reasonably was when they were fighting her over
Yeah,
Chariot, like
she
to,
took
to
their
free her,
magic.
right? So it's like, oh, we'll miss you so much.
Right.
You okay there?
well, I think if there's anybody that would understand, it would be the principal.
Mhm.
Of any of the faculty. I think it would be the principal. But the weird thing was with that scene, she was wearing some sort of a covering, and she had two uniformed people behind her.
Yeah.
Now, it seemed like a really nice, pleasant way to end the confrontation. But it seemed like they were taking her away somewhere.
I agree. 'Cause-
Prison?
yeah,
Azkaban?
something.
Like where?
Like the
version of
mental
Azkaban.
hospital? Like, I don't...
Maybe.
Because it
Yeah.
was definitely
Maybe she
a
checked
takeaway.
herself in to deal with her emotions, but we don't
That
know.
would be very...
They kept it
interesting.
light and happy. We don't need that
Yeah.
darkness,
No,
apparently.
she definitely was being taken away because you don't just leave Luna Nova with an escort,
Right.
You just
Yeah.
if you're-
And Marcus Corazon brings it up, man in a male equivalent of a Luna Nova uniform. Maybe it's another school, maybe it's another organization. Something to do with their equivalent of the Ministry of Magic.
Yeah.
Maybe
Right.
Who knows? Hubby Joe, they showed that if we work together, you can accomplish anything, which I agree with, because why not? Maybe they know Croy is going to jail for a while, so they don't have to worry about her.
It'll calm down by the time.
Yeah, everybody else in chat is like, she's not going to prison, even though she's being let off. We don't know.
It was really strange because I don't know. She redeemed herself in my mind, and I would imagine in Chariot's mind.
Right.
But how, I just don't understand. Even if you redeem yourself, doesn't mean that what you did wasn't wrong and that you shouldn't suffer some kind of consequence. So I would imagine that they would be taking her away somewhere.
Yeah, I think despite her, change of heart and turnaround, she still has to pay the penalty and face up for what she did.
Maybe they got, maybe she got some time taken away for good behavior by helping save the world?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe?
Yeah, so maybe what they meant to say was, after your jail sentence is over, come back and visit anytime.
Just imagine them writing the script for this. Should we just outright say that? Or
no,
for
let's
the
just,
little kids watching this,
let's just put two uniformed people behind her and imply it.
Yeah.
We'll let the people who understand get what's happening. Everyone else could just think it's a happy-go-lucky time.
Eastman says, if Azula can get off just being sent to a medical hospital, then why not Croy? Not a bad thing.
Fair.
Croy says a line that could possibly be foreshadowing to another season of Little Witch Academia. Sure. I mean, a lot of this stuff is like, well, what happens next?
Right.
Still, it's just bizarre. But the last scene that we get is Akko still trying to fly. We mentioned, you spoiled it without spoiling it, Eastman. Because in the last episode, they mentioned, imagine Lotte and Barbara bonding over Nightfall, which they were doing. Susie and Constance were playing video games on one of her robots. Amanda and Diana were having tea,
which I loved.
Last thing I was expecting.
Yeah,
and then Hannah and Yasminka just hanging out.
Yeah.
But everybody's just having a good time. It's a picnic day. Akko's learning how to fly, or trying to figure out how to fly. She's putting everything into it that she's got. See a big magical burst that ends up leading to nothing. And then we've got Andrew and Frank, the rest of the faculty. Andrew, business cash.
Look at him loosening up a little bit.
It's like, I don't got to wear this tie no more.
Thanks, Dad.
Oh, boy.
But, I mean, to think of what it takes to get in and out of Luna Nova, they really had to send somebody to get him and Frank in there. Or maybe they've opened up the ley lines. Maybe there's more of a common way to get in if you want to visit the school grounds.
Relationships may have improved.
Yeah,
we might be seeing the effect of that.
We don't know as soon as this scene takes place. Even in between the Croy being let off to now, we don't know how much time has passed in between that. We don't know how much time has passed between the event and now.
Right.
I was just trying to figure out what to call her. Chariot, in glasses, but red hair, not hiding from anybody.
Yeah.
And
Same uniform.
Very, very nice to see her happy in her own skin. And as it was, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, my question is, did the professors have any idea that this was Chariot? Because it didn't seem like it, but it's like they didn't make any comment like, oh, okay, so Chariot's here.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing. How much time has passed?
Yeah.
Right.
We didn't see her going, hey, my name's not Ursula.
Yeah.
But I can imagine,
Here's
especially...
my fake ID.
Yeah. Especially some of the other teachers that taught Chariot, I can imagine them going, yeah, we knew. You think we're stupid?
Yeah.
We spent a lot of time with her when she was a student.
You remind us a lot.
Recognize this.
Yeah. Hannah and Barbara, knowing Chariot is one of their teachers, consider what they said about her in the past. Awkward.
There were probably several students
A little
there
bit.
that had to
Yeah.
atone for things that they said.
Most students.
Andrew finally returns the hat as Lotte and Susie give her one final push of, hey, remember, you believe in yourself, that's your own magic. And she ends up floating. She's making progress. The little girl did it.
We're taking baby steps. Not a girl.
But Marcus Corzone wanted to point out it's more of the hat. As soon as Andrew returns the hat, that's when she flies. I don't know what you're implying.
What?
And as she's flying, Constance lets out a, oh, she's flying.
Wow.
To the point where I had to rewind and be like, I thought I saw her mouth. That was her.
Was
God,
indeed.
man, like this,
Yep.
just in terms of TV, this is one of the most fulfilling finales that you get, because these days people are looking to make 6 seasons in a movie, to borrow a phrase. They're looking to make franchises. And with something like this, something that was born of Kickstarter, born of passion, and born of these creators wanting to tell a story and fans wanting to see that story being told, they had the opportunity to go, well, since you signed on for this one, we're going to do another one. And while it's not necessarily implied like, oh, like the end of, I say quote, the end of season 1, the end of episode 13 when Croy first appears and we see those cubes and it's like, plot.
There's more, yeah.
Yeah, nothing happens at the end of this that's necessarily, oh, that's what's going to happen next. But it's
Yeah.
just Akko finally believing in herself enough to start to fly and start to make progress. And it sort of leaves you with the feeling of she'll keep making progress. She lived her dream. Cool. Like, we don't have the shiny arc anymore, or the shiny rod anymore, so
So
What's next?
that was the main impetus.
Yeah.
yeah, and even like Croy, let's say she does try to go after the curse. I don't know that would be enough. Like, there has to be something more. So they did, the way that they ended it, it is kind of all wrapped up in a little bow. So it'll be really interesting when they come out with the next episode.
Anything.
Yeah,
Next anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder what they're going to do with it. I'm sure that they can come up with many other things to do, but they'll be curious what they choose to do.
Eastman says season 2 could deal with a rival witch school. PW Gregory says, I can't, and by that I mean I have to, wait for the true season 2. Marcus Corazon, those cubes were actually in the first episode of Little Witch Academia during the Shiny Chariot show. Yeah, and they show that in the flashback as well. So yeah, we were familiar with that. Constance talked, and Akko flew. But the big story is that Constance talked. Agreed.
That's very true.
This just left me feeling more fulfilled than most other seasons of TV. What was your reaction to the end?
Yeah, as much as I want, like, things that I love, of course I want more of constantly, but also I really enjoy when we get a proper ending, when we get kind of closure for things. There's something immensely satisfying with being able to say, this is a thing I love, and it is a complete thing that can be looked at on its own. So, well, of course, it's like, there's opportunity for more, and I want more. This chapter has been rounded off.
I enjoyed it, but I wanted to see more with Chariot at the end. More, I don't know, just more of a confrontation with Akko, I think. To me, it kind of did, like, this is probably an opinion that a lot of people won't share, but I felt like there were still things unresolved and that they could have wrapped that up a little bit better than just suddenly, oh, everything's cool.
I can see that. I can understand that.
Yeah.
And speaking to your point, Stacey, something that another Trigger show did is with because they're not terrible at it. Kill la Kill ends with a sense of finality, and I'm not going to say what that sense of finality is for people who still want to watch the show. Available on Netflix. We'll talk about that in a second. But they end it with a sense of finality with maybe 1 or 2 strings of like, oh, if this is the end of the show, why would you do that? And they put out an OVA later that then pulls the rest of those strings, and then the story is done, and that's it. So with this, yeah, they're leaving a couple of strings for possibly another season, possibly an OVA, whatever. But ultimately, just going off of what we knew from the original short, that's it. You know, it was all about the shiny rod, and it was all about Shiny Chariot, and all about Akko's relationship with Shiny Chariot. So now we're really we're going to be treading into new territory with season 2, with any OVAs. But ultimately, we didn't get an episode of Akko and Yasminka.
Nope.
Not fair.
Not fair at all.
Trigger. So if anything, let's do something that fleshes out the rest of this world. And so with some of the time that we have left, what do you want to see moving forward with the Little Witch Academia franchise?
I definitely want to see a little bit more about the mechanics of the old, like the established traditional witch world and how that's kind of changing now, especially now that we have this new kind of magical source being reintroduced. I wouldn't mind a bit of a jump like into their futures a little bit.
How far?
a couple of years at most.
Okay.
Like not a huge jump, but just kind of seeing Diana, like where she decides to go, if she decides to step up into this role at the next available opportunity. I'd like more backstory on that front.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of going off what you were saying, I want to see them jump maybe like 5 years in the future, so we get more of like, I don't know, like the ending of high school, early adults, and see it from that perspective. And I'd love to see more of Yasminka, and on top of that I want to see more with like Nightfall, and I would love to see that spin-off where, like you were saying, the actual characters are playing the roles of the people in Nightfall. And then of course I want to see more with Chariot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think jumping into the future would work. I like the idea of having to incorporate their magic and their abilities into real world. So maybe not necessarily a huge jump and then being done with school, but maybe senior year and having to transition into a real world magical role that may or may not exist, like depending on how the world changes from this event and from this new if there is a widespread new acceptance of witch culture, what that does for them, and if anything can come from that in a positive way. Yeah, just more. This world is so delightful, and I absolutely love the score. Again, soundtrack available on Amazon.com. I don't have a wish list, but I just want it to be available digital. That's what I want, and usually that type of stuff doesn't come stateside. So maybe I have to have a Japanese iTunes account. Who knows? Man, I love this show. I every step of it. Probably not the best person to be critical about it because I just love everything about this world. But time to go back and watch it all again. The last thing that we're going to do before we go is, now that we are done with this season of a show, what are you going to watch next? We're coming up on the fall season. It's not quite there yet, but summer stuff is still kind of ending. There's a couple of things that maybe it's time to, maybe if you missed it from a couple seasons ago, maybe you missed it from a couple years ago. Did Trigger open your eyes to other stuff that they have done that you haven't seen? What are you looking out for?
So, okay, I made a list. I really want to watch The Devil Part-Timer.
The Devil is a Part-Timer. Yes. Hilarious on Netflix.
Castlevania.
Oh, me too.
I want to keep watching Oran Host Club.
Dear
animates my heart.
Attack on Titan, but I started watching that too, and oh my gosh, is it depressing?
That is a trial.
Well, this is what I did, and it worked, at least until I got too impatient watching Oran. I watched Attack on Titan until I couldn't take it anymore. Then I watched the same amount of episodes on Uran to make me feel better, and then I went back to Attack on Titan.
That's very effective.
It helps. They have the same amount of episodes,
yeah.
So you can do that, but then it got to a point where it was just like, I can't take it anymore, and I watched all of the rest of Uran.
And my friend, she came over, and she's like a huge Attack on Titan fan, and she started watching what's on season 2 right now. I was like, oh my god, I can't.
Yeah,
oh my god.
That anime goes places.
It gets more depressing.
It gets so bad.
That one's hard to watch sometimes. It is very difficult.
It's rough.
But my Hero Academia, Kill la Kill, Yuri on Ice.
You haven't watched Yuri yet? Okay, if
Yes.
you're looking, okay. Uran is an amazing way to help you feel better. Like that, it's just so lovely and so delightful, and it's a great comedy. Yuri on Ice is like medicine for your soul. That's such a lovely show. I did not expect to get into it like I did.
Not at
one
all.
season, right?
It's only one season. It just came out this last winter season, and they're coming out with a movie, and I think that's the next step. And we don't know anything about season 2, but they came out with some additional content for their season 1 DVD release.
Yeah, they did.
Would like to hear your thoughts on that. Who boy? Who boy?
Yeah, they did.
Who boy?
And then and then Kiss Him Not Me.
That one I just recommended to you.
Yeah.
It is so good. It is so good. Again, comedy. I watched the pilot. Once I finished watching it the first time, I watched it again. I love that show so much. but you just got popped by something in the chat.
I did. So, Miraculous Corazon just put it out. Monthly Girl Nozaki-kun, which I was literally just waxing poetic to Mark about before the show. I love that anime and manga so much. It's so wonderful.
You're very intriguing the way that you put it. I was like, oh, is this the one with the blue-haired guy on it? He's like, yeah.
I'm not good. You watch it.
That's the prince.
Go watch it.
Yeah. We just got into My Hero.
Yes.
And season 2 probably has like 3 or 4 episodes left before the end of it. But it's so good. Similarly to this, they take a lot of the conventions of regular shonen anime and they turn them on in their heads. Mm-hmm. So a lot of stuff you're like, oh, time to expect this, and then they do it in 5 seconds, and then you have 20 minutes left of an episode, and you're like, whoa!
Where are we going?
What happened?
Yeah.
Like, and like anything about superheroes, tragic backstories. A lot of interesting powers.
It's so creative. It never stops being...
I'm excited for you to meet one of the best characters in the series. His name is Best Genist. We don't know what he does yet, but
he is Best Genist.
He's one of the best Genists.
I'm excited.
He is the best Genist.
Excuse me. He's the best Genist. We don't know. He's like hero number 3 or 4 in the world.
Which, you know,
best genius.
Best no Jeanist. Like
the jeans that you wear.
Like denim. It's ridiculous.
It is something else.
What other stuff is on your list?
So over the weekend I marathoned what was out of this currently airing one called Elegant Yokai Apartment Life. Did not know what to expect. Did not know what I was expecting. It's this guy who, as he's going into a new school, he moves into an apartment that is literally for spirits and demons and ghosts.
Oh.
And it's just so cute. I don't know how to, like,
cute.
It's like horror, but also like very, very light, but also just adorable. It's very precious, and I really enjoy it so far. I did not expect to be like, this is awesome, I'm gonna keep watching this, and be sad that I ran out of episodes.
That happens a lot. As much as I don't like the live system that Netflix does, like how they released all of this in one chunk and made us wait, when it comes to stuff that's been out and for archival purposes, I love Netflix because you can download stuff to your phone, watch it wherever. It helped me get through a lot of plane rides. So if they add more stuff onto there, that's how I catch up to stuff. Like Gurren Lagann, I have not watched. I've been spoiled of a lot of it just because it's a big part of anime culture, but I still want to watch that because I can download all of it and watch it all at my convenience. Same thing with Castlevania, but and also Your Lie in April. I've heard a lot about Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid.
So okay, so like think
They went from cute to wait.
Think how you feel about Yuri on Ice, and it might.
You can't do that.
No, it's not.
You
it's
can't
not.
do that to
I
me.
have heard people say it's better. I still Yuri on Ice is my. It's my heart.
Okay, yeah,
But Miss Kobayashi is adorable. There are dragons in it. I don't know what else you need.
Really? Dragons and Miss Kobayashi's
Dragon Maid? Who would have guessed? I know. It's
bizarre.
kind of a weird revelation, but you get used to
Is
it.
that like episode 4 or 5?
Yeah.
I'm also looking for something mecha. I keep trying to catch up to various Gundam series. Like I hear that Iron Blooded Orphans is really good. It's just a timing thing for me. Like what was it called? Dang it. There was a Gundam series that was 3 episodes and a movie, but the episodes were like 30 minutes straight, like not even 22 minutes. Gundam series, stop it. It was about how on either side what music they would listen to while going on mobile suit patrols, and it turned into this fight of these guys at this one station that liked listening to classical music or pop music while they did it, and they were in a big wreckage of like an asteroid field, just trying to defend this one point, and they would start hearing like loud pops of jazz of like freeform jazz, and it would that was terrifying, like the equivalent of like the Jaws theme, rising and falling, but like so, where is he? So and it's about I'll find it. I'll bloody find it because I've got everything. Because Gundam Wing was just one of my favorite series, and Gundam Wing on the Swats is still one of my favorite movies. Of all time, of like regular movies, not even just animated movies. So there's so much Gundam. Thunderbolt, that's what it's called. Mobile Suit Gundam Thunderbolt. It's fun and interesting. Well, I say fun. There's a lot of death, but dude, it's so There's a lot. There's a lot of anime out there, and we want to talk about it. So I didn't do the read again, so I'm going to do the read right here at the end. So check it out. As always, we thank you so much for your support, and we actually have some exciting news about AfterBuzz. Whether you're a new listener or a longtime AfterBuzz fan, you know that we're the world's #1 destination for TV coverage. Well, starting this month, we'll be expanding our content to beyond just after shows to bring a whole slate of new content, formats, and guests. Our after shows aren't going anywhere, they're simply evolving. Most of the shows you love only air for part of the year. We were on air for 3 weeks, just as evidence for that. But during the rest of the year, these shows have news constantly breaking that you want to talk about. So, as the ESPN of TV talk, we know that it's our job to cover it. We'll have in-depth coverage for comedy, drama, animated, truly anything you can imagine. Nothing is off limits. And given our no limits approach to TV coverage, we realize that sometimes it can be hard to find the shows you love, and we listened. We're going to be restructuring our website, our shows, and our platforms to make sure that you can easily find what you're looking for. Here's what's going to happen. Our YouTube channel is going to be divided into 9 sections by genre. That's dramas, comedies, reality competition, wrestling and sports, animation. This is all one, so pay attention. Sci-fi, fantasy, superheroes. Boom, that's all one. Red carpets, and lastly, our own featured and original content. There's a lot to be excited about, but it will not happen overnight. So as we develop, we'll be experimenting to cater to your TV interest, which means your participation and feedback will be essential to deliver these custom shows. To keep up to date with everything, be sure to sign up for our monthly newsletter, which is going to be launching this month, and check out our show AfterBuzz Weekly with Megan Stecker. There's a lot of anime that we try to have at least one show on a season because we like the format, we like the form, we like the art style. So if you want anime to be a part of this AfterBuzz TV New Direction, make sure to let everybody know at AfterBuzz TV on Twitter, and comment on here, comment on iTunes. If you want more anime, we would like to give it to you. The network needs to make time for us, and they need to know that you want it, so make sure that they know. This has been an amazing experience, and I thank you so much for being a part of this with me. And it's not just me geeking out about the show for weeks like a madman.
I am very happy to be here geeking out with you.
Happy to have you here.
Me too.
Thank you so much. And Rachel, thank you so much for coming in clutch in week 2, week 3.
Yeah.
Super appreciate it. So for the last time, where can the folks find you? Where can they keep up with you? And let's say goodbye to Little Witch Academia.
I'm Rachel Goodman. You can find me on Twitter or Instagram at Rach Goodman, or on Facebook at Rachel Ann Goodman. I'm on 2 other AfterBuzz shows right now. Ray Donovan is the first one. Not this Tuesday, but every Tuesday after that. We'll be on at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I also am hosting The Young and the Restless soap, so if anyone is a soap fan, please check me out on Sundays at 7. Well, actually, now it's at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. They just changed it.
Stacey.
I'm Stacey Shuttleworth. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Stacey Shuttles. I'm on another show here with Mr. Mark on the Popcorn Talk Network called Inventory Full, where we talk about the latest video game news and what we're doing in the video game world. That airs Mondays, so tonight at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Which is next. So make sure that you're following one or both of us. You should probably follow her instead. To make sure that you're watching the show. We tweet out the links every week. And I'm Mark Donica. You can find me on Twitter at Mark Donica. If you want more anime thoughts from any of us throughout the year, just make sure to follow us all. And if you want us to do a specific show, if you want us to cover anime at all, make sure AfterBuzz TV knows. Make sure to leave comments down below and on iTunes, so more people can find us and join this family. Thank you so much for joining us on this wonderful experience to the world of Little Witch Academia. That'll do it for us. We'll see you next time.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.